Hello, welcome pen friends. I'm back with another video, and today it's going to be a pen review, which is not something I usually do. I do a few here and there. It's been about 3 months since I've done a pen review. I did first glance at a pen about 2 months ago, but before that it was the Keiko Retro was the last one that I actually reviewed. So, but when I come across one like this is the Diplomat Magnum, where it strikes off all of the 5 criteria that I consider are so good in a pen, like reliable is number 1 for me, affordable, smooth, meaning a smooth nib, comfortable to write with, and it has a nib that can be swapped out. I can't help but share that with you. And right now there's a couple of places running some specials where I think at least you need to be aware of this pen. It's been out for a long time and there's a lot of reviews out there. In fact, it was Pens and Tea, Carrie from Pens and Tea, her review that was done several years ago that I ran across, and it got me interested in these pens. But I've got 3 of them here. The top one is a gray one, and it has a medium nib. And the second one is a red one, and that has a medium nib. And then the third one is the one that is called Prismatic Purple, and on the box it says John Doe. And this is in a broad nib, and it's exclusively available at Goulet Pens. Whoops, sorry about that. So what that will afford us is a chance to see the medium nib and the broad nib in action. I'll write with all 3 of them, and also then you can at least see these colors. Now there's a lot more colors out. There's some newer colors, but these are just I got these 2 at Pen Chalet, and I got this one, the Prismatic Purple, at Goulet Pens. So let's take a really close look. Let's just go ahead and grab up this purple one, and we'll take a really close look at the pen. Let me hold it this way because this is how we'll be able to read the what's this called? Clip. The clip has the Diplomat name on it. Let's see, I think maybe I need a little bit less of a zoom here. Okay, so where do we begin here? Let's just kind of look at the outside of the pen, and it is really pretty. We may or may not see the purple. It depends on the lighting. Okay, and then here the top of the finial says Diplomat and some other things too. Let me see. I guess I'll hit product of Germany. Okay, so I couldn't read it without doing that old lady thing where you put your glasses down on your nose and try to read it. So that's what the finial looks like. It's quite stylish, actually. And then it's got a neat little ink window. The end of here is just kind of plain, and we can tell already we can't eyedropper it, but that's okay. It's a cartridge converter pen that takes standard international long or short, so that's another advantage in my book. So when we take this off, we can post it. I don't like to write with it posted, but it's not bad. It's just that it's an awfully lightweight pen, so you run into some issues there. Okay, so let's look at the section real close. You know, it's like a plastic or resin section, and it is sort of like a Lamy, but when we compare it to the Lamy Safari, I think you will see that although it has the suggested indentations, it isn't really as drastic as the Safari. I find it quite comfortable. I find the Safari comfortable too, though. But if you don't like a suggested grip or a forced grip or whatever they call it, a contoured grip, you may not like this pen. It has a number 5 nib on it, and this one is the broad nib. And oh my goodness, this is a nice, wet, juicy writer. It's just amazing. And there's the feed. Okay, and let's get inside here. And right now, okay, so with Goulet, at Goulet and maybe some other places that I'm not aware, they do throw in the converter, which is really nice because it doesn't actually come with it. And the other 2 that I got, I had to just sort of harvest converters off of other pens that I had. But if you order from Goulet Pens, you will get an included converter. And also, I think the pen came with a cartridge, so that was nice. Okay. I noticed you have to get it pretty, you have to go ahead and turn it quite a bit to get that ink window to be lined up where I'd like it to be. But so that, I guess, is a pretty good look at the pen. Now, the other two have a different feel to them. This is perfectly smooth, doesn't have as much texture. And then the gray and red one are both very textured. They feel like, not sandpaper, but, you know, they feel like they have quite a bit more of the texture to them. So they are different. And, you know, there's confusion in my mind about this soft touch, because it doesn't say that on the website, but it's listed some places as soft touch and some places as not. But they are all three Diplomat Magnums, and it's just the difference is the Prismatic Purple is that extremely smooth finish. I really like both, but they're very different. Now, this one, when I first got this, I know I showed it on my channel, and I mentioned the fact that I was super worried about my inky fingerprints getting on the finish, but that didn't turn out to be a problem. It has happened several times, and I just make sure and wipe it off right away. And if it's a dark ink, I rinse it off right away and wipe it off. And I haven't had any staining. And I've been using this since, I think it was August. It's been a while, this one anyway. And then this one is my birthday pen that's going to be wrapped up for me. So, okay, and I think, let's see, we can look at the red one too, but they're all pretty much the same. They've got the same finial and the same thing. These didn't come with the converters, so I took them off my Kaweco Perkios for now. You know, they're in rotation, not being written with right now, so. Okay, so there's a look at the pens real close. Now let's bring over our Lamy Safari. It's the only pen I'm going to compare because it just, oh, and wouldn't you know, Lamy's got their writing going this way, so. Okay, so it's the only one I have really that's plastic and is quite comparable to them. So, let's compare the sections. That's really what I want to do, because that's where a lot of the questions come in. Now, I did some measurement checking, and with our pen that we're reviewing today, it's an 8.3 millimeter grip diameter, this one. And it's just less pronounced. I mean, you have to kind of look close to see that. It's there, and it's definitely a suggested grip. But then on the Lamy Safari, it's no problem seeing that. It's quite drastic, but with the Lamy Safari, you get 8.9 millimeter diameter. So it's interesting to me that it would be slightly larger, but I don't feel like it is. So somebody needs to explain that to me, I guess. But anyway, it's not that I write with the Diplomat and think, oh, this is more comfortable, but I just, I think they're both very comfortable. So I haven't noticed the difference, even though I have years writing with the Lamy Safari and only a couple of months with the Diplomat. So the things they have in common are that they're both cartridge converter pens, and you don't get the converter with the Lamy either unless you order it or you get a special gift set that includes it. So, and the Lamy converters are not standard international, they're Lamy proprietary. So if you have standard international converters or cartridges laying around, you'll be all set to go with a Diplomat Magnum. So, and let's see, there was one more. Oh yes, the weights. Okay, so there's just a little bit of weight difference. The red and the gray one, they were weighing right around 15.1 grams on my little scale. So they're very lightweight. And then the purple one weighed 14.2. And these are all three inked up about the same with the converters. So I thought that was interesting. So this one's slightly heavier, just about 1 gram heavier. So it's not much. And then with the Lamy Safari all inked up with a converter, it was 17 grams, 17.1. So we're talking about 2 grams more than the red and the gray one. So, you know, but they're right around that same weight. You're going to think, oh, it weighs about the same. And of course, there's a difference in the clip. You got this kind of a clip here. These clips seem really nice. To me, they'll even attach to a notebook. So I don't wear them in a shirt pocket, but I was playing around to see, like on this, and it just, you know, slides right on and it doesn't come off. So it's really nice, like on a notebook. I thought that was cool. So, I mean, it's just really well made, and it seems like German pens always are. So, okay, so let's see. I paid $12.50 each for the gray and the red one, and they do have just a few different colors still available there at Pen Chalet at that price. And then for the purple one, it was at Goulet Pens, and it was $21.60, I think, but I guess I didn't, yeah, $21.60, which included a converter. So automatically you're getting, you know, you're getting that included. That's really good. Okay, so I think it's about time to do a writing sample, and then I'll talk about some of the things that I like and don't like about the pen. So let's try doing that. We have a Rhodia tablet, and let's go ahead and see if we can get as close as possible. Okay, and we'll write with all three of these. So here we go. Okay, so we'll just put pen test, and Diplomat Magnum. Okay, so this is Diplomat Magnum with a medium nib, and this has Lexington, whoops, gray, noodlers. I should put noodlers first, but that's okay, in it. Awesome, and it's super smooth. Of course, this is good paper. Let's see what we can get for a smear. Very nice, just very, very pleasurable to write with, and that's the medium nib. Let's try the other medium nib, just so we get another run at it. Okay, let's see, make sure you can see this. Okay, oh, well, there's a little bit of a Diplomat right there, just a very beginning sort of hesitation, but I usually scribble a little with my pen. So Magnum, another medium nib, and this is KWZ Thief's Red. Interesting. There was another spot there. So we do need to notice that. I'm going fast, and I am working around a tripod, so we've got to keep that in mind. And maybe I should be making sure I'm holding it right. That would help. But it's interesting, I do actually like this one better. But now we're dealing with two different inks. I probably should have inked up with the same ink. It would have really been better for something like this. But that's how rusty I am at doing actual pen reviews. Oh dear. Okay. So let's try the third one. Now this is the purple, the prismatic purple. From Goulet Pens, and it has the broad nib. Okay, so Diplomat Magnum. This is even smoother. It's a broad nib, and it's just awesome. Okay, and this is KWZ Hawaii Blue. Hawaii Blue. Okay, let's do a little squigglies. Just no hesitation with this, certainly. Neat. Okay. So, can we see those? Pretty good. I feel like it just writes, they write really well. Now, that was, it's possibly the speed at which I was trying to write and maybe my error, but I didn't have any of that with the other two, so that's interesting. I've only noticed one thing, just slight little thing about the gray one. Let me grab that one and see if that's still what I'm thinking. Well, I don't know. I thought maybe the nib unit might be aligned just slightly. I don't know. maybe not. I thought maybe it needed to be turned. So these can be pulled out, and they're number 5 Yo-Wo nibs. So that's a neat thing, because these are available in extra fine, fine, medium, and broad. But I like a stub nib too. So, whoops, I guess we better have a little more room. So I was thinking to myself, well, that last criteria of mine, being able to swap nibs, but I can do that if I want to. I could purchase a nib, a stub nib, number 5, and pull this out and replace it. But you know, this pen here costs less than what the replacement nib would cost, so that's interesting. I mean, $12.50. I just happened to get lucky and get that. And I used an existing cartridge converter, so that was cool. Okay, so let's see. I think what's left now is talking about, you know, what I like and don't like. And there are a couple of things on both counts. It drives me crazy that the writing is upside down when I have them like this, but I guess being right-handed, I just like to have the pens like this. So, okay, so first of all, they have super smooth nibs, and that is such a joy, because it's just really nice to write with, you know, just very smooth. And then I find the grip comfortable. You might not if you don't like a suggested or forced grip. Okay, so there's that. I find them very affordable. I mean, I got really lucky that the timing was right to get the first 2 there for $12.50 each. And then the other one is, of course, a Christmas present for me that'll be put up after the review, or after I like run the ink through it, I guess, to be fair. So, okay, so then next, oh, reliable. I mean, I find them to be very reliable. That little teensy issue there in the writing sample, that's the first time it had ever happened. The 2 that I circled there were in the very, very beginning of the word. And it could have very well been the way I was trying to hold it, because of the tripod. So you know, that's probably an anomaly there. So then over on the not so great side, or the side that might bother you or even me, I wish that there was a stub nib option, but then again, there is. I mean, I could, I don't actually have a number 5 stub that writes the way I want it to write, or that's the right kind of nib, but I could purchase one. So I wish there was that option. And then I do wish that each and every one of them came with a converter without, you know, having to buy it extra or steal it from another one of your pens. I was really happy that the purple one did, or the Prismatic Purple, the one that it's called John Doe because it looks blue most of the time. But and then the third thing is just something that I might not have noticed myself, but when I was watching Pens and Tea, Carrie's video, she mentioned how the bodies turn. Well, that doesn't bother me at all. I don't care, as long as I'm having a nice, steady, you know, the pens are not drying up, and they're not drying up on me. That doesn't bother me, but that could drive you crazy if that kind of thing bothers you. And they're all the same. They all close real nicely, but they twirl. So that's just something that I may not have even noticed that if it hadn't been for her mentioning it. But they're all very consistent in the twirlability of them. So there you have it. I was going to look over my notes and see. I think that's just about everything. I wanted to make sure I went over everything. It said online that they have a resin body with a matte finish. Well, definitely these are matte finish, and even the nibs are real pretty too. Let's see if we can kind of look at them close. I really like the section material. They're not slippery at all. Let's see, there's that one, and then this one's that same black material. Whoops. I really like the broad nib the best, but it's just such a juicy, wet writer, and very super smooth. All of them are smooth. Let me write with that one again just to see whether we, you know, can catch it again in its little trickery or what. Let's see. Okay, so maybe to be fair, we'll, yeah, see, it does do that, and the gray one doesn't. But we're looking at KWZ. Huh, that's another. Seems like it likes to do that. Thief's Red. So I actually would say there's just something going on, whether it's me not pressing enough, or something going on, because as you can see, I'm not, you know, not having a chance to filter that out. It's not quite, it's not always ready to go. That's interesting. Let me make sure the ink is not like all down in the converter. Oh, it's good. Okay, so it could be an ink issue, or I don't suspect a nib issue. I really don't. Yeah, that does bug me just a little bit. Let's grab the gray one, since the gray one is the closest, being another medium nib. I haven't run into that at all with this. I mean, I think I could do, but I don't know. Is that an attribute of Lexington gray? Who knows? This is not the first fill. I've had a whole bunch of different colors in here. Mostly gray, to admit that. I've tried out several gray inks in this one as I was testing through. So, yeah, I'm not running into the kind of stuff with this one, so I don't know what to tell you on that, but I really think these are really super good. And I would actually recommend this for beginners, because I think that it's a pen they'll have good success with just with a cartridge. And even before getting a converter, you could start someone with a pen like this, I believe. So that's pretty much what I wanted to say, I think. If you have any questions, I'll try to answer them. Let's see, I did say that it was postable, but I didn't quite really like it. It's not super heavy posted, but it goes way back beyond my, whoops. Well, you know, back beyond my hand being small. Let's see, I'll get stuff there too. So I would rather just write with it unposted. But yeah, I haven't had any of that nonsense with this one or with the purple one. So I'll be interested. This is the first fill for the red one. And it's like maybe the 5th fill for the gray one. And it's the second one for the purple one. And I haven't had any trouble, so. But I'd have to be more scientific than that. I'd have to study. Okay, there's a little section there too. This one just doesn't feel quite as wet. Huh. Well, I don't mean to keep you for that, because that's a puzzle for me to work on later. But I have definitely noticed that this broad nib is just super nice and smooth. And of course, this is another KWZ ink, the Hawaii Blue. And a real nice flowing ink too. Okay, well, if you have any questions, let me know and I'll try to answer them. I really think this is a pen worthy of your consideration. And I felt like I had no regrets at all spending my pen allowance on these two and then asking for this for Christmas and getting it. So I think you'll like this if you like lightweight pens. And if you don't mind having a contoured grip. That's what I think. And some of you that already have this pen, let me know in the comments what you really like about it. I don't mind the lightweightness. It doesn't bother me that it bounces around a bit while I'm writing, because I write fast, and as long as it's smooth enough to keep up with me, I do really good. So, and also they're affordable, so in my opinion. So I'll let you go now, and thank you. This was sort of a warm-up because I have other pens I want to review. And it's just been so long since I reviewed a pen, I thought I better like stretch my muscles on it. So thank you very much, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.